Inside the NBA on ESPN made its debut last night. I thought it was business as usual. I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. I'm not sure how long they went to last night, but they had the pregame, they had the halftime, they had the in-between game, they had the postgame. Like, it was business as usual. There was no Stephen A. Smith there. There was no Pat McAfee there. Like, this was not the ESPN-ified version of Inside the NBA. I know, talking to you offline, I was more optimistic about this than you were. Were you pleasantly surprised with how it shook out last night?
I was, and I'm just very happy overall. Like, in these first 2 nights of NBA coverage, like, it seems like the NBA is just going to be a more enjoyable experience this season, and hopefully for 11 more seasons. Who knows how long Inside is going to go for. Charles Barkley's always threatening retirement, so you never know when that could end. But yeah, it felt like Inside the NBA. The only thing that really changed was the ESPN logo being on there. They're very self-aware. They made all the jokes. They even had the great segment of Charles Barkley doing a who he broadcasts for and trying to guess like what NBA analysts were doing, what network they were covering the sport on during the new media shakeup here. So like it felt great. And, I thought the handoffs, the handshakes between the Inside guys and the ESPN team, the broadcast team, Mike Breen and Lisa Salters, I think there's a lot of back and forth there. It all seemed natural and smooth. I'm glad they kept the Inside the NBA music and the graphics. Like, it felt exactly as it did on TNT, and to ESPN's credit, that's exactly what they were advertising. Obviously, I mean, they have the same people producing this at TNT, so it shouldn't be that hard to just keep doing the same show that you have been. But as an NBA fan, I think you have to be very pleasantly surprised. Just not even surprised. Just it was a pleasant experience.
Well, I think pleasantly surprised is fair, and I understand. Because there is this distrust. Like, there's this idea like, oh, Inside the NBA is going to ESPN. ESPN's going to ruin it. And I do not think that is a unfair take. But my template for it was Pat McAfee. And they have, for all Pat's faults, for all that shows, the issues they've run into at ESPN in the last 2 years, ESPN has left it alone, like maybe too much. Arguably, maybe they left it alone too much at certain points over the last 2 years. But that is very much the Pat McAfee show, and it just happens to be airing on ESPN. And I think not only one, this is still a TNT production. This is still, they are leasing it. This is, the ESPN is not running the show. They're just licensing it and airing it. And so I don't even if ESPN wanted to screw it up, I don't know how capable they would be of doing so. And then two, like, I don't think they know there's this pressure. They know there's this set of expectations that people are waiting for them to ruin it in some form or fashion. And I think they want Inside the NBA to be Inside the NBA. And so I think now the challenge they run into is it's a very limited schedule between now and Christmas. After Christmas, it will start to pick up a little more in terms of how often Inside the NBA will be on ESPN. You're going to be going back to NBA Countdown, which is not a very popular program. You could run into issues now with who knows what position Stephen A. Smith is going to put his teammates on that show with the current events of the NBA. So I do think now ESPN, the issue ESPN runs into is how does it deal with the drop-off, because that's what it is between Inside the NBA and NBA Countdown. That's now what I'm monitoring between now and Christmas, pretty much.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, maybe I'm a little overly optimistic after these first 2 nights. I have my rose-colored glasses on about NBA coverage. We're not actually getting the Inside guys very often. They're going to be on tonight again, and then maybe one more or two more times between now and Christmas. So, Yeah, that's a lot of NBA windows for ESPN to fill with NBA Countdown, and I don't know, people are rightfully upset with how that program goes. So yeah, I don't know, but I was happy to see the guys back last night, and I'm happy that nothing's really changed.
Yeah, if nothing else, it was definitely a good call to have them on last night, right after NBC's debut got so much love, because if you had gone from, I mean, we saw it on social media, there was so much angst building up about NBC did such a great job. ESPN, this is so much better than ESPN. ESPN's been terrible. Like it was a direct line to draw. I know you and Brendan talked about it yesterday. And so it was very wise, I think, to have the Inside the NBA crew ready to go for ESPN's debut last night.
One last thing before we go. I need to get your opinion on Skinny Chuck. Like, do we like Skinny Chuck? I mean, I'm glad about, I'm sure for his health, I'm happy that he's lost some weight, but I don't know. I think Jay Billis said everything had shrunk but his head.
Yeah, fat is always funnier. I do think Chuck gets a bad rap. Chuck has gotten into shape these last few years, but I don't know. Maybe it was keto. Maybe it was something else. Got him definitely noticeably a little slimmer last night. So yeah, I'm all in on Skinny Chuck, but fat is definitely funnier.
Yeah, no, I agree. Good for him, but also it just doesn't look as funny.
That's true.